Bienvenidos al universo Cigar Fati. You know, we all know Mark Twain. Literary giant, master of satire, all that stuff. But today, we're going to look at a side of him you might not know. We're talking about Mark Twain, the original tobacco troll. Let's dive into how this guy used smoke and wit as his ultimate weapon against anyone who was just a little too full of themselves.
If smoking is not allowed in heaven, I shall not go. I mean, wow. Just let that sink in. That one line pretty much tells you everything you need to know about the man we're talking about. So get that picture of some stuffy, old-timey author out of your head. Instead, picture this. A true revel of the cigar world. A guy who would literally choose hell with a good smoke over heaven without one. That's our guy.
So Section 1, the literary tobacco troll. Now, when I say troll, I don't mean the kind you find in internet comment sections today. I'm talking about how Mark Twain used his incredible wit, his celebrity status, and, most importantly, his cigars to just masterfully poke fun at the pretentious, the pompous, you know the type. He basically turned smoking into an art form of social commentary.
So let's get a definition down, but let's do it 19th century style. A troll in Mark Twain's world wasn't some anonymous guy hiding behind a keyboard. Oh no. This was a master satirist who weaponized two things: his razor-sharp humor, and, believe it or not, some absolutely awful cheap cigars. And he used them to expose just how ridiculous high society could be.
And this is super important to get. Samuel Clemens, the man, created the persona of Mark Twain. And that persona, it was a full-on performance. Everything he did in public was part of the act. That includes his smoking. So those cigars weren't just a habit, you see. They were a prop, a crucial tool for his own special brand of intellectual mischief.
All right, Section 2, an insatiable consumer. To really wrap your head around just how big this performance was, you first have to understand the sheer scale of his consumption. I mean, the amount this man smoked is just staggering. But as you're about to see, it wasn't just about the numbers. Nah, there was something much deeper going on here. Okay, look at this, 22 to 40. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's a lot for a week, maybe. Or maybe that was for some big party he threw. Nope and nope. That was his total per day. Yeah, every single day. Just let that sink in. We're talking about a number that would make other legendary smokers, even someone like Winston Churchill, probably do a double take. The man literally lived his life inside a constant, billowing cloud of smoke. And this right here really shows you the difference, doesn't it? For a guy like Churchill, cigars were often ceremonial, a symbol of status, of elite taste. But for Twain, they were fuel. They were ammunition. He had this completely irreverent, almost disrespectful attitude toward the whole ritual of premium tobacco, which actually brings us to his greatest prank of all. Okay, Section 3, the master of the prank. I gotta admit, this is my favorite part of the story. This is Twain's ultimate troll move, the one trick that perfectly blended his love of cigars with his absolute disdain for pretension. This, right here, is where he really earned his title. So the prank was just beautiful in its simplicity and absolutely devastating. Here's how it worked. Step 1, he'd invite all these so-called experts, the high society snobs, over to his house. Step 2, he'd offer them the cheapest, most disgusting cigars he could possibly find. But then came the masterstroke. Step 3, he'd weave this incredible, totally made-up story about their exotic, rare origins. And the result? Oh, it was perfect. His guests, so desperate to look sophisticated and in the know, they fell for it every single time. You can just picture them, right? Nodding all seriously, sniffing this cheap, nasty tobacco, and praising its complex notes and exceptional quality. And Twain? He'd just sit back, puffing away on his own cigar, just enjoying the show with this wicked little smile on his face. Section 4, the philosophy of smoke. But look, it wasn't all just about playing pranks and making fun of people. For Mark Twain, smoking was something much, much deeper. It was absolutely fundamental to his genius. He really never saw smoking as just some bad habit or a vice. Not at all. For him, cigars were a vital creative tool. They were like tangible inspiration, something that helped him think, something that directly fueled his absolutely incredible creativity. I mean, just think about it for a second. Two of the greatest American novels ever written, Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer, were basically born from a constant haze of cigar smoke. You can almost see him, can't you? Sitting at his desk, the characters and the plot just kind of emerging from those thick, swirling clouds.
And that's really the connection, right there. His whole irreverent attitude towards cigars was just a perfect reflection of his philosophy on life. Every single puff was a chance for him to observe how foolish people can be, to question all that pomposity, and to find the humor in our weird human obsessions. He literally turned the simple act of smoking into some seriously powerful social commentary.
So, Section 5, A Rebel's Legacy. Let's start to wrap this all up. What does the story of this legendary literary troll actually mean for us today? What's the real legacy of Mark Twain's philosophy of smoke?
When you boil it all down, Twain's whole philosophy is a challenge, really. It's a call to question everything, to challenge the so-called experts, to mock pretension wherever you see it, and maybe most importantly, to always prioritize a real, authentic experience over some empty ritual. It's all about enjoying things on your own terms, not someone else's.
Which really just leaves us with one last question to think about. In the grand theater of your life, and especially when it comes to the things you're passionate about, which part are you playing? Are you the guest in Twain's prank, desperately trying to impress everyone by pretending you know more than you do? Or are you the host, genuinely just enjoying the moment, even if it's with a cheap cigar?
Si te gustó, si lo disfrutaste, si aprendiste algo nuevo, suscríbete al canal porque recién comenzamos.